Anyway, welcome everybody to another episode of the Stray Pixels podcast. I am your host, as usual, Noisy Pixel staff writer Colin Buchanan, and I am joined by my co-hosts, my fellow staff writer Nathan Mejia, and our senior editor Jacob Kavanaugh. How are you guys doing this week?
Oh, wow. What is happening this week? It's a good question.
Yeah.
I've completely forgotten everything, which because I was not put on the spot.
Like, you know I'm going to ask you how you're doing.
Well, it's always awkward. So, because I'm like, wow, do I be real and be like, yeah, my week was kind of crap? Or do I be fake and go, yeah, it was a great week. I played a lot of Trails in the Sky, which I did.
I think you meet in the middle. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm playing through Metal Gear for the first time. That's
exciting.
Wait, which Metal Gear?
I've only beaten the first solid game, but I'm starting through the second. So that's a trip. I'm bad.
They're weird games. It's okay.
Well, and Solid 2 is the weirdest of them all.
I'm into it so far. I'm not into Rose. Please stop calling me.
All right.
Jack.
Oh God. So
do you know what day it was yet? Do you know what day it is today?
Well, that's very important.
It's actually May the 1st.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think.
And we're not going up on the 4th, so it's not Star Wars Day when you guys are seeing this. Tomorrow will be Star Wars Day, so may the 3rd be with you, I guess.
Oh, you're right. Sad face. Sad face.
But we're not here to talk about Star Wars. We are here to talk about hashtag BalanGate. So. The weird viral video game news of the week, as reported on by the lovely Nibelion, Yuji Naka is in the process of filing a lawsuit against SquareEnix and says that he was fired from Balan Wonderworld 6 months before the game came out after trying to get the company to delay it. And this was not public knowledge before. And it's super relevant because a lot of people hold him pretty personally accountable for the dumpster fire that was released for $60.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was hard not to hold him accountable because of how visible he was and how like, this is my dream game.
Yeah.
And then like your dream game was this, it just didn't line up.
Your dream game got so much advertising, leaving Neo the world with you in the dumpster fire. I'm looking at you, Square Enix. I'm very mad still.
Like, so and Nibelion was briefly in an extremely niche part of the community, semi-canceled because so the tweet that Naka made to announce all of this, I'm assuming after his NDA had expired, because I'm sure that he was prohibited from saying something until now, because why would he wait when people have been dragging him through the mud for a whole year now?
Yeah.
Nibelion apparently machine translated from Japanese into English rather than approaching someone to actually translate it. And it created some very funny typos, including accidentally calling the game Balan Wonderworld.
It's almost as barren as the actual game.
But I mean, the details of the report do still seem to be, basically correct. He says that he tried to get the game delayed and that he was pulled from the project and that everyone in the company apparently wanted him gone, which I think says something about him. If everybody wants to fire you 6 months before your game comes out, especially given how hard it is seemingly to hold men who misbehave accountable in the video game industry.
Yeah, I think we had the publicists, the lead up. I'm gonna actually look at the thingy for that. Someone capped it. I capped it. But I don't know where I posted it.
It's got to be in our Noisy Pixel server.
Let me just look up when Colin said podcast topic, so I can just jump to it. Perfect. There we go. He was removed. According to this, he was removed by the producer, the publicist, the sound director, the director in charge, and HR. All at once.
So
Yuji Naka,
everyone,
infamous for not being a good person to work for, got removed by everyone.
Yeah, apparently so. So this raises obviously a couple of questions. I think that the pressing one is, so the game was 6 months out when he was fired. Do you think that him getting fired and the game not getting delayed because apparently he wanted it to happen affected the outcome? Because well, if you want to drop your take first, go for it.
Absolutely not. Not even close. They would have had to be for the game to be actually functional. You know, it would have needed to have been on the levels and systems to like the entire base game as it exists would have had to be completely restructured. They're not going to do that in 6 months.
Yeah.
The levels, yeah, they would have to be delayed and rebuilt entirely.
Nate, do you want to?
Yeah. So him getting fired did, in fact, probably get some stuff moved on the track line, because I'm suspecting he was also probably stalling a lot. Probably trying to get more time, which is very normal in these situations, just from a normal business standpoint, like what I see in my own job.
Yeah, it's a contract work, wasn't it?
I believe so. For Naka, so he was probably like dragging the game as much as he could to get that time. Like, if you're not going to delay it, I'm going to drag my feet as much as possible. So I'm going to guess there's probably going to be much more work done because the story is barely there and needs to be told through a supplemental like book or manga. I can't remember what it was.
It was a novel. It was a full-length novel that actually told this story. If you guys aren't familiar, Austin Eruption has a video where he basically does a complete breakdown of hey, I played the game and read the novel, so you don't have to. Here's everything that was left out of the actual game and then stuck into this book that you had to buy separately. I'm surprised that the book was released outside of Japan, quite frankly.
I am too, but it was probably to recover as much costs as possible, and they probably already had a translator on hand doing it. So second cost fallacy on that. The other thing I'm surprised about is I'm surprised Naka's contract didn't forbid him from suing the company afterwards, because usually if they have a good claim to say, yeah, no, we fired you for these reasons, well, the lawsuits ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter what they did.
So my broad take here is basically similar to Pyre's, where this game needed to be redone from the ground up. I played this demo. It's miserable. Like, genuinely, it is a mind-numbing experience because the game is so unnecessarily basic, and I don't like, people were demanding that the game be delayed when the demo came out. We've talked about this demo before because this was like the first in what became kind of a trend of Square releasing demos that then made people not want to buy the product. And thank God, because we had no idea what this was going to turn out to be until that demo came out. But I think that the one button gameplay was ridiculous, and I think that it's insulting. It's insultingly simple even to the target demographic.
It was a one button game that gave you a ton of different powers, but then all levels needed to be able to be completed without the powers because you could pick any particular one. Thus, there's no real diversity and change between the levels.
Yeah.
and thus they need to be just be needing to entirely rebuild the game. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
It would, yeah.
I think this would not have saved the game, but I think that a delay to improve the stability and performance and a drop down to a $40 USD price tag would have done a lot. Because I think that one of the biggest talking points was they're charging, full price for this extremely buggy and unpolished game that is too easy for the average kindergartner. I think that already making it clear out of the gate, hey, this is not meant to be a AAA game experience. This is meant to be, something besides, so because you're then considering Balan Wonderworld up against all of the other $60 games in Square's portfolio, and we're kind of seeing something similar with Babylon's Fall now, where that game is loaded with microtransactions, and everybody's like, why is this not just free to play? So I think that would have helped, but I still don't think the game itself would have ended up as anything higher than a 6. It's not a good game, and it honestly didn't it probably sucks for Naka to have his name dragged through the mud like this, but it also probably sucks for all of these people that wanted him out so badly that they got him fired before the project released. I'm sure that was born out of just an extremely toxic working environment, because I think that list of people indicates that he wasn't just fired because he wanted the game delayed. It's not like it was just the management.
Yeah, Yuji Naka is infamous for this sort of behavior. So it really hell. So it comes as no surprise.
Yeah, because he first did something very similar to the American-based team when Sonic 2 was happening, when being developed, didn't he? And he was the reason why STI got.
I'm unsure. However, I'm just looking up some stuff this second to.
Yeah.
Here we have. Actually, they Polygon reposted the article. It was from 2017. It involved Peter Moore, so the head of Sega America at the time. So we're talking about right after the Dreamcast died. Where are we? Building a relationship. So let me if I can read this excerpt out, it's very funny. So this is from Alan Moore. Peter Moore, Alan Moore is someone else entirely. Hell.
Yeah, that's the writer of Watchmen.
Yeah, I was like, weird.
I don't think he was. I think it'll be a very different story. Peter Moore, we've got here. Yuji Naka, maker of Sonic, is in the room. Now, he and I have a love-hate relationship on a good day, and we show him this. This being a series of studies and polls to try and get the opinions on the focus group of 18, 19-year-olds and how they saw gaming companies. And we show them this, subtitled in Japanese, and when it comes to the piece, Yuji Naka, slams his hands on the table and shouts, "This is ridiculous. You've made them say this. Sega is a great brand and nobody would ever say this. You falsified this data." And so Peter tells his translator to tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, so anyway, I can't find the good stuff.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. It's okay. the other thing that kind of intrigues me about this story, though, is it's kind of another in over the last couple of years a trend of high profile executives very abruptly being fired from or leaving SquareEnix projects. The two that come to mind first are Hideo Baba, who like got to make his own company within Square to create Project Prelude Rune after being a Tales producer for like 15 years. And then the game was canceled and the studio was dissolved before it even got a real title, because that was a working title. And Hajime Tabata, who had been working for Square for a very long time. He directed Crisis Core, which obviously we talked about a lot last week. And he was in charge of Luminous Productions, which created Final Fantasy 15. And basically, once 15's DLC really started flopping, he was out the door, because the company was losing a bunch of money. I'm not really sure if that was his fault or if that was upper management's fault. I don't know who to assign blame to in that situation, but I think that
that's 15. That's a whole.
I think that I just think that it's notable that Square keeps like bleeding people like this, due to seemingly poorly managed projects from higher up, basically. Yeah. Because obviously Baba especially had not gotten the chance to actually do anything yet. The Prelude Rune was canceled like 2 years ago, and we still have no idea if he's like got anything new in the works, or if he's ended up at a different company. So there's been a lot happening with stuff like this, and there's all kinds of games that I can think of that, you know, we're not sure if they even still exist because of structural changes happening at these companies.
No, I kind of see what you mean, and with it, and so a lot of it is probably upper management, because when you have a mismanaged project, there's usually some sort of upper management that you can point to and go, oh, he was on Yuji Naka's case. I 100% know, and probably no, I don't want to say no, but believe that it was mostly Naka himself creating the problems.
So he said that the reason why he like everyone wanted him gone was because he was saying the game wasn't finished, basically. That's his version of events. Was his relationship with the development team was ruined because he said the game wasn't finished.
Yeah, that's the only reasonable. That's the only thing he's saying, and that's the only reasonable take you can have. That would go, okay, yeah, I can see why he sued, because that means it's a unreasonable fire, because they worked to get him out. However, when you get people that coordinated between that many different departments, that's not just casual upper management didn't like you. That is 100%. There was probably a group chat with these people going over all the evidence they could maintain to present to higher management to get them out.
Somebody go hunt down the line logs and leak that shit.
Look at this.
All right. So before we move on, any final thoughts on hashtag BalanGate?
Not especially. It's not a really big thing, and although it does have those ties to Baba and Tabata, it really doesn't. It feels like an entirely different ballgame. In terms of actual mismanagement.
Yeah.
Because Tabata was taking over 15 on that whole development fiasco. That could be its own video.
Yeah.
So large.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a lot. We'll get there eventually, but it's a lot.
Maybe when Baron Rex is coming out.
Yeah, maybe. I'll say this. I wonder how much of this is Yuji Naka trying to save face now rather than in the moment of it, because it does kind of change some of my thing of, oh, at least he knows it wasn't finished. But then thinking about it, I'm like, but did he know it wasn't finished when they were working on it, or is he saying it now because everybody was saying it wasn't finished? Which part of me is probably like half and half. I think if this had been a normal, oh, I didn't believe the game wasn't finished and nobody really cared about the game, he wouldn't be doing anything. He wouldn't have said anything. Mm-hmm. But because everybody was like, no, this game is trash, and we have multiple videos of I played so you didn't have to. Just leads me to believe that he's doing this more as a production to save face rather than anything he hopes to really come out of it.
Part of me kind of considers that. Part of me also kind of feels like it's something of a publicity stunt on his part. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like Balan Wonderworld going viral was like kind of the only positive outcome that could have happened given how the game actually turned out. Like everyone was talking about how bad that demo was, and the game pretty much immediately became one of the biggest laughing stocks of 2021. And I think that kind of like it wouldn't have happened if the game had just been fine. I think that it would have just been swiftly forgotten. So I kind of have to wonder if this is like, yes, an attempt to save face, but also an attempt to put his name back out there and try and get hired somewhere else. I personally am completely fine with him retiring from the video game industry. If this was his like dream project and he got to be the auteur and make whatever game he wanted, it is clear that he's pretty irreversibly behind the times. And everything in this game is so very outdated, and I don't think that speaks to someone who's willing to look at the industry as it is now and change the kind of thing that he wants to create, because he's clearly still stuck in the Dreamcast era.
He's stuck in the nights.
I was going to say he's stuck in the Atari, brother. One button.
Well, because that was the impression that everybody immediately got was, why does this feel like a 6th generation, console game? From everything from the extremely simple controls to just the scope of the levels, when we're so used to, on the open side Mario Odyssey and on the linear side Mario Galaxy, like that's kind of the standard of what we should expect now from a high budget platformer. And it wasn't that. It was not remotely that. So Yuji Naka, I feel like now has a much more complicated legacy than he did before, and I think it would be in his best interest to not muddy his name any further.
Yeah, he could go to whatever hole Fune put himself into, and they can just hang out.
100%. Goodbye. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Twitch streaming, a thing that we have recently become much more invested in.
Yes.
So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. In the first half of this episode, we talked about hashtag BalanGate, and in the second half, we're doing it now for something completely different. So recently, for myself, and less recently for Nate, we have started getting into Twitch streaming. So real quick at the top, I'm going to do the shameless plug. You can find me at twitch.tv/arcane streamer. All one word. It's not my usual online handle is Arcane Ranger. So I was like, oh, we'll be cheeky about it. And then you can find Nate at twitch.tv/studio Henshin, HENSHIN.
Yep.
Where he streams with a couple of his friends a couple nights a week. I have been streaming Hyperdimension Neptunia, Genshin Impact, and very novice level Gundam builds. And Nate has been streaming. I saw Smash Brothers. I've seen you guys tweet a couple different things. It seems like you do more.
We try to go abroad, but generally how it goes is that I, like Colin said, I stream with my two other friends, Neto and Aaron, and we form what is to be the Cafe Henshin as VTubers, and generally we have a Neto game, a my game, a co-op game. So a lot of time we'll kind of switch around the days of which is which, depending on what's going on. So we just finished up Mass Effect. I'm going to start Lego Star Wars here.
So good. So good. Sorry, I like took a short break from Lego Star Wars and now I'm ready to spend another 50 hours on it.
That's all I got.
So you got. I'll go bring my O's driver here in a little bit.
So Nate, I want to ask you, what do you get out of live streaming?
So originally, my whole content creation stuff was kind of a way to hang out with my friends again, because I found that, you know, starting up with Noisy Pixel and started up with my programming job, I was just getting more and more enclosed in a small, tight bubble of only myself. So we decided that content creation and video game playthroughs was the best way to come up with it, and get kind of not rekindle our friendship, but find an excuse to hang out like on a regular basis. Like, oh, we got to record this now, or we got to record that now. And then further into it, you know, I personally have a hard time connecting with communities and fan bases, especially online, you know, which is really shocking to some people, especially if you see me on the Noisy Pixel like main Discord, where I'll kind of hop in and out and talk a lot, but I always find it's hard for me to do it. So kind of Twitch streaming was my attempt at creating my own community where I could feel like maybe I belong. It's a slow journey, you know, because we barely hit affiliate, but you know, that's kind of what I like, is hanging out with friends and then building a community that I could finally feel a part of.
Sure. I have been sort of trying to be like the public streaming face of Noisy Pixel recently. Nate kind of started his project independently, but I immediately jumped in and I was like, I want to involve people from our Discord community, which if you haven't joined yet, the link will be in the YouTube description and in the show notes as usual.
Go do that.
Go do that. And then if you want to be alerted for streams, go under the role assignment channel, and after you've agreed to the rules, and you can pick up a tag that will get you into that channel. And I've been like doing calls with several of our people in the community, and you know, having discussions about all kinds of stuff just while I've been streaming.
We can actually be conversed with, which is insane for now.
Yeah.
And like
I've been playing, yes, obviously. I've been playing Neptunia, and I've been playing Genshin Impact. Neptunia because it was a game that I could kind of like stop and start whenever I needed to, but it was also one that, you know, appeals to a lot of people in our audience. But it's yes, weebs. But I kind of decided that how I want to do streaming is sort of the same way that I do this, where I think that the thing that I am good at in this context is having conversations with people and like just kind of taking a topic and running with it. You give me something to talk about and I can just go on and on and on. So I'm trying to convert that strength into making entertaining Twitch content for people. And I'm still extremely small potatoes, even between the two of us. I've only got about 20 followers at the moment, but the response that I've been getting has been really great. I've had a couple of people in the community be like, I'm missing, one of my favorite VTubers for this. And I'm like, I'm going to take that as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Because y'all like us. And I get other Noisy Pixel people in pretty frequently. Azaria's dropped in a couple times.
Yeah.
I know how much y'all love him. So if he's not busy, he pops
Or drunk,
by.
unless he jumps in while drunk.
Yeah, I've had drunk Zario.
Drunk. Yeah.
So if you like that kind of content, if you like watching people play anime games, that's what I've been doing. And I'm trying to sort of cultivate a community through this of like not necessarily of my own, but kind of like within the Noisy Pixel fan base, basically. Because I haven't really mentioned this on here yet. I am trying to go full time with Noisy Pixel and content creation this year. It's going to be a huge uphill battle, but I have become so miserable in my day job that this is just kind of
retail. So
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, and they're not paying me, meaningfully more. And with every month, it seems like I'm being expected to do more. And this is a job I've been at for 3 years. So, and I've been in retail for 10 years. So I think that's long enough in the ground level workforce for me to be like, this isn't for me. This isn't using my skills well. And I want to do something I'm better at than this.
Yeah.
So that's not, I'm not immediately going to try and go full-time streamer because that's not realistic, but I'm trying to sort of use my platform here to sort of build on that. And it's going okay so far, but come join, come follow if you haven't already. I'm trying to hit affiliate, hopefully by the end of May. Would be really, really cool. And my stream schedule is also in. Nate's stream schedule is regular. Mine is not because I work retail. My stream schedule is in the Noisy Pixel.
I've got a fantastic stream schedule. You can't miss me because I don't stream.
Yeah.
I'd love to stream, but I've been looking for all this spare time and I can't find it.
We barely figure out how to get the three of us together to record this podcast.
Yeah. It was a lot of work to get it. Luckily, I think my D&D game is going to end soon, so that'll be easier.
The grand finale?
Yeah, grand finale. We almost got Rocks Fall, Everybody Dies.
So now we're going to go with my next question is something that both of you can answer. And I'm going to start with Jacob because you haven't had a whole lot to say yet in this part of the episode. So what would you say comes to mind when you think of advantages of live streaming over more fixed and static forms of media and social interaction?
Well, your first main advantage I would put up there would be that your it's a lot of arms here. Would be your trying to stop that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It would be your the immediate, an almost immediate follow through you can have between interaction with the audience and the streamer.
Sure. Almost is a key word because there's like a 15-second delay. It's kind of awkward trying to talk to someone who sees you 15 seconds after you said any given thing. But yeah, I totally agree.
But I mean, what have you got in comparison to that? You've got making a meme post on Twitter for people to join into, and then trying to stack them up, or setting something up in as some sort of joke thingy in a Discord. Or you've got the only way you could really further the interactions would be like through like specifically made titles like Jackbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, if you guys want to interact with us, that is also very possible on the community Discord. But in a group chat like that, where anybody can talk whenever they want to, it's kind of a different atmosphere from, you know, this person is live and you have, you know, something resembling their undivided attention, basically. So you can have a, you know, a whole conversation as opposed to one that happens a couple minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at actually watching streams myself. I can't. That's where my own inability to focus on things really kicks in. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna do something else, unless it's something I'm super interested in the first place.
Yeah.
Nate, how about you?
Yeah. So for me, I feel like the advantages of live streaming, I feel and see a bit more, mostly because I do YouTube content, you know, and it's very disheartening to put out video after video after video like I do, and, you know, getting 5 views, 6 views, 3 views, 0 views, while having that, you know, constant feedback from at least anybody, even if it's just your friend in chat talking with you, you know, getting that thing makes it much easier to go through the time and a lot less disheartening, because you're having fun in the moment rather than versus trying to get your content out there. And I've always believed that if you're having fun and enjoying what you're doing and you have enough charisma, you know, or at least can talk very well, that people will naturally start coming in once, you know, they see you, once you get visibility. You know, and I've only been streaming for about 2 to 3 months now, but, you know, we grew relatively fast. I get about 4 to 5 viewers on average now, and, you know, we hit affiliate, and even just do it. But I see those like, 5 people were watching, you know, and that feels better than the 3 people watched for 10 minutes versus YouTube. And for me, I said before that I have a hard time talking with people in the community, especially forum, and with it being like a real life, not real life, but rather the interaction and that you're there for me, a lot of that drops away for me, and I'm able to talk like normal and kind of be myself. Rather, like I do it on the community Discord a lot, where you'll see me typing, you know, if you're on and I happen to do this, you'll see me typing, and then I'll just go away and never come back, because I got too into my own head about what to write, what to say, and whether or not people are gonna like me, so to speak.
Sorry.
I have so much to add to this conversation. It's just incredible.
Feel free to jump in if you think of anything.
Oh yeah, that's my joke.
Fair enough. Although, I mean, my next question is something more aspirational than anything. So I think that this is something that you could still probably answer, which is what each of us would like to do with the live streaming platform that we haven't done yet. So I'm going to start with Nate, because I started with Jacob last time.
Yeah. So there's kind of a lot that I've been wanting to do on stream that I just kind of like biding my time or unsure of. But essentially, one of the things I thought about doing was getting together, because I'm learning how to use Unreal Engine right now, making a community made game where I would sit down, you know, start going through the dev process and just have people in chat submit like what they think the game should be about. What should we do? How should we reprogram now? And basically bring a community together to make a game, you know, and it wouldn't be anything charged for either. I would just release for free once we were quote unquote gold. So that's one of my
Don't say that.
aspirations.
Don't say that now.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna say that now.
You've already said it. You've locked it in.
The other one was that I really like teaching or explaining stuff to people and kind of getting them to understand it. And I've gone through my own Japanese learning journey, and I kind of wanted to get like a small streams where I could go over the basics with people still struggling, and to help myself reinforce my own basics. You know, because I'm not like fluent or anything, but I'm basic conversational. So people talk to me in Japanese, I can respond back pretty well. But I think that'd be a cool spot because a lot of people don't know where to go, where to start, or how to start. And I think, you know, a live stream like that, where it's like, hey, no, this is where you start, would be very cool for people.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about this for a while, long before I ever actually, you know, had the guts to up and get myself started. But I've seen people do stuff with the platform that I look at and I'm like, I could be really good at that. One of them is, so my favorite Twitch streamer is Dodger Dex Bonus, who for a very long time now has every weekend basically hosted a chatting stream before chatting streams were even allowed on Twitch, that she calls Saturday Morning Duger being a play on her handle. It's basically just like a chill hour of people getting together and relaxing and, you know, having back and forth conversations. And I'm like, that sounds really nice. I would love to be able to do that. And just like have it be a regular weekly, you know, tradition for myself and people in my community. That sounds really nice. I have also for a long time wanted to do live streamed tabletop games. Not even necessarily because of Critical Role, but I listen to a ton, and I have for a while, of tabletop podcasts, and I always find the medium of those stories to be super evocative, and I love the element of allowing other people to step into that beyond just the people at your table. And I've had all kinds of ideas for campaigns and stuff like that kicking around in my head, especially during the last 2 years when we've largely been unable to meet people up in person. So that is something that I would love to be able to do with a bunch of the other Nosy Pixel people. I believe Azario has said that he would love for that to be content that could be promoted for us. So those are my goals and hopefuls. How about you, Jacob?
I have some goals and hopefuls, but we have I'm keeping them under this hat. And they should show up in time. It's very menacing. I don't know what else to say.
No, you're fine. You had just said that like you eventually wanted to stream, so I figured you might have an idea of like what you might want to do.
I mean, I feel like if I was able to run a focus, I would be doing really silly things. So by this, I mean, Noisy Pixel does all the focus on the niche stuff, right? And that's really cool. And obviously I want to do some of that, but I want to also take on your stupid challenge runs for games. And whilst Bailey plats everything, yes, that's very cool. Good job, Bailey. That sounded way more sarcastic than intended. I want to do really stupid stuff like
beat Pokemon with just a Mudkip at level 5, stuff like that.
That's really no, but yes.
Well, you know what I was getting at, but the challenges that are kind of dumb and not could you do this, but should you do this type of stuff.
Yeah, or like have people in the Noisy Pixel chat end up suggesting job classes or items, or I do an XCOM run with user submitted people.
Oh, that's
And
always
we will
fun.
we'll watch it all fall apart.
Oh, I would love to do Final Fantasy 14 raids and stuff with Noisy Pixel community people on stream. I think that would be exceptionally cool, and that is something that will be much more easily accomplished in a month or so when data center travel finally happens and you finally can at least play with people from across your region. So
Right.
excited.
Or
very excited.
One concept would be to use the power of chat to actually make me play Disgaea again, and to just constantly reclass. Make a party almost entirely out of generics and just keep reclassing them based upon who wants what. And I will die really much. That doesn't make sense. I'll die a lot.
And you name your people after the subscribers.
Yep.
After the people that
they
give
get
you
named
subs.
after the subscribers, but then the subscribers lose. The subscribers don't get to pick out the job class.
Well,
Chat decides the job classes, and then they keep switching.
I've seen plenty of people do Twitch streamed Darkest Dungeon playthroughs where they name party members after people that subscribe, and that is a game where your party members like fuck up and die pretty consistently. So there's a lot of stuff that can be done with concepts like that.
Yeah.
How have we not done Twitch
fun.
Plays Disgaea yet? That sounds deeply entertaining.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, the extra moving parts would be the real hell for it. Now,
because what would it be? Twitch chat runs to go into an item dungeon right away.
Or you get a bunch of subscriber names in a hat and you slap them. You use a some sort of ROM hack tool to slap the names over the top of Fire Emblem characters.
I just looked it up. Did you guys know that Twitch Plays Pokemon is in fact still streaming right now at this moment? They're playing. They're playing TCG.
Yeah, they're like the did they ever beat the second TCG game?
I don't know.
I think they definitely beat the first one, because Twitch Plays Pokemon just kept going. Like it kept going. They played Mother 3 at this point.
The amount of work that went into that stream and configuring all of it is astounding to me. I think that Twitch Plays Pokemon is one of the coolest things that has ever happened in the gaming space. And I don't know, the fact that it continued after a lot of people like after it went viral, it just kept going, and like right now they're even raising money for charity. Just very cool.
Okay, so they finished they officially finished the trading card games back in 2016 before doing an anniversary crystal run.
Wow.
God, it's actually been so many years.
They have 417,000 followers.
I stopped. I lost track of Twitch Plays Pokemon somewhere after the 3DS games.
That's what I'm talking about, though. The fact that they managed to get that to work. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I could see how it's done. It's just kind of weird and just a lot of prep time. But after you get the prep time over, it's a pretty simple process.
Oh wait, no, I forgot they did no, I actually did watch part of that. They did a Tohomon and one Toho ROM hack and Moemon simultaneously.
Oh my god.
So 2 games at once.
What a flex.
What a flex.
It went terribly.
Oh, I'm sure. Because I'm sure they just said, all right, commands are for both. Figure it out.
Nate, do you have any standout Twitch moments that you wanna touch on? Not of yourself, but like in the community.
In the moment of history and community. Like Twitch and streaming for me is really weird. Like I've known about the Twitch plays Pokemon for a while now myself, but I never watched. I was never much of a stream watcher. But for me, I think the big standout is probably AGDQ and SDQ, all those guys, all those ones, and SGDQ. Good games done quick.
I was gonna say for those who don't know, he's talking about awesome games done quick and summer games done quick. So this is a biannual live streamed event convention almost, where they raise a bunch of money for charity by doing speed runs of just dozens of different games. They bring in people from all over the community. World records get set sometimes they don't, but they do it like it's almost like a telethon type deal, where if they reach certain donation thresholds during streams, like people get to see like bonus stuff happen, or they'll do an extra tournament or something. So it's like a keep the party going type deal.
Yeah, and there's 2 big moments from those that I really remember, and because kind of launched me into and wanted me to go, no, I want to do the streaming stuff. The first was the Link to the Past and Super Metroid randomizer run by Oats and Goats, and I think can't remember who played Zelda, but that run was fantastic. And then the other one was by the same guy who did Zelda, was a Link to the Past. A Link to the Past crowd control run, where if you, based on how many people are donating bits, can decide like, hey, you're now ice physics, or hey, you're now this, you're now that. And those are the type of stuff that I would really want to do too. Which are, of course, more fun when you have a bigger community. And I think those are pretty big standout moments for me.
All right. So on that note,
Very little time here again.
What?
Sorry.
You're fine. On that note, I think that we're gonna wrap up this episode. So I want to thank you guys at home for listening to another episode of the Stray Pixels podcast. We post every Tuesday on your podcast app of choice and on the Noisy Pixel YouTube channel. Is there something that you guys want to see any of the Noisy Pixel people do on stream or anything like that? Let us know in the comments. Azario's got something in the works before everybody asks about him. But that, I believe, is something that is going to be happening through different means and over on the Noisy Pixel community Discord server. So if you haven't joined that, please go do that, because that's going to be where a lot of the important stuff happens. If there's anything you'd like us to talk about in a future episode, leave a comment under this video, or you can talk to us on Twitter. You can find me, Colin, at the Arcane Ranger. You can find Nate at Less Than Nathan, and you can find Jacob at Pyreloop. That's PYRELOOP. Or the site itself at Noisy Pixel News. The Stray Pixels podcast is brought to you by NoisyPixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to bring you the latest news, reviews, previews, podcasts, and more. Please like, subscribe, and follow to keep up with our future content, and we will see you guys next week.
Ishi.